Hey, can I tell you guys a story about something that happened to me recently that
Is it a house story?
No, I have a bunch of house stories to tell you in the near future, but not today.
Okay.
I was stressed out about stuff though when I did this. The other day I was driving around and as you may or may not know, there's been a lot going on in our lives the last couple months. What with them being completely and totally upended in every way, career-wise, and then I've been busy in my personal life too, because of the domino effects of all these things, And so I was driving around from like place to place running errands the other day, and I was in Emily's car because I had to pick something up or drop something off, and she's got a bigger car than I do. And I was, I don't know, it was one of those days where I was just completely and totally lost in my, those days when you're just like, you're concentrating and thinking so hard about stuff that everything else you're doing is kind of on autopilot. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're using like 5% of your brain to operate the human, and the rest of it is just completely and totally trying to figure out finances or life moves or whatever it is. And I realized I had to get gas. And so I stopped at a gas station, and I went out and I was put the thing in and I started filling up gas, and I was standing there. And then I was like, oh, it'd be nice. It would be nice if I got an energy drink because I'm fucking exhausted. And Emily would probably like one too. So I went inside and I bought 2 Monster energy drinks, the ones that Eric likes to make fun of me for drinking. And bought those and went out and got in the car and drove away as normal.
God.
And about 3 miles down the road, I thought to myself, something's not sitting right with me over the last few minutes. What is off? And I thought, you should pull over and figure this out. So I pulled over and I sat for about 5 seconds. And then I realized, oh, I never stopped getting gas. I just drove away.
Oh, my God.
I get out of the car. I get out of the car, and sure enough, my gas cap is off, and the little thing's open. I'm like, holy fuck, have I just... What do I do? My dad did this once. I remember it was a whole thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know what to do. And I thought, well, you're like 3 miles away from the place. You just keep driving. And I thought, no. I got to go back. And I went back, and all I'll say is I drove back by the gas station, and there was somebody else getting gas at that pump. And I thought, okay. And so I just went home. I guess I didn't do any damage. Nothing popped off or broke, and I guess I'd already paid because I put my credit card in and everything. I just didn't get the receipt. But yeah, I think
oh my God.
I think I drove off, and I guess the gas nozzle must have just flown out when I drove away.
So wait though, where do you put the cap when you're filling up?
It's connected on it hangs off. It's connected by like a little plastic rope or whatever.
Holy God. Shit. You're so lucky you weren't trailing the whole pump hose.
My dad did. He did it one time, and the pump got stuck in, and he trailed the hose. Yeah.
Maybe they've designed them in a way to prevent it now.
Yeah, they pop off easily. And even then, it didn't happen, apparently, because it was like somebody else was getting gas there, so I didn't do any damage. But holy shit, dude. I can't fucking believe that I am that person. I have to go through the rest of my life knowing that I did that. And I'm
I didn't think that happened to people that I know.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. And I'm embarrassed to say that it did.
When you said the pump went with you or went with your dad, I imagined like the vault in Fast and Furious 5 that they're pulling around, but like he's dragging the entire gas pump and it's like still going up the amount that he's using as he's driving away. The thing pulling behind him.
If it was Fast and Furious universe, though, it would be like exploding constantly on everything that it hit. It'd be like blowing up everything.
Oh, this is a Trials HD minigame now.
Driving away with explosions in my rear mirror. I was like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
You didn't hear like a big clunk?
No, I didn't hear anything, and no damage was done to the car or the pump, apparently. And I told Emily, and she's like, you just don't remember closing it and putting it away. And I was like, but I know I didn't. I know I just got in the car and drove away. I know I did.
Oh, you should try and get the security footage.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I would be so stressed if I were you driving back.
So embarrassed. I was ready to go back and be like, I'm here. I assume I pay a fine or something, but yeah, that was.
Oh,
It was
Barbering,
just
in
fine.
my head, I've created a Zoolander, is what is happening the entire drive.
Oh, you think
back.
the place
I'm
is
just
on
like,
is on
yeah.
fire? Yeah.
I think that I've covered the entire place with gasoline, and it is on fire. I'd be so stressed heading back to that gas station. That's crazy.
Definitely, I don't get embarrassed very often.
Which is crazy.
Thanks. I agree. Like, if anybody should be embarrassed on a daily basis, it would be me. But, I mean, just physically alone, right? But I'm pretty embarrassed about that one. I can't believe I was horrified with myself. Just horrified.
That's definitely a badge for life.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I think it's just a symptom of how incredibly intense and stressful the last few months have been, I guess.
Maybe I should start, instead of laughing at all the videos I see of people doing that, maybe I should just think, oh, I bet they had a lot going on.
Yeah.
I bet they did. I bet they did.
What have you been up to, Jeff?
Man, I had a bunch of stuff. I have a new idea that I think is going to revolutionize the world. I had a cute little thing that I discovered recently that I wanted
go
to go
back.
over with y'all.
Go back to
Wait, so
that.
hang on. No. Hang
We
on.
gotta
Keep
expand on
going. No, we have to keep going because there's even stuff that Jeff said you'll never believe what I did again in our
And
Slack.
then-
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what that is either.
Well, I had two very embarrassing things happen to. Well, I shouldn't say happen to me. I did two very embarrassing things to myself recently. So those are two different stories I could tell. I don't know that we need to, though. We already had one really embarrassing story with Andrew admitting that he's racist against Italians in the opera.
No.
And so I don't want to over-index on embarrassing. So maybe we'll shelve those and save them for down the road or something.
Mario's pretty cool.
I want to know what you put it in the Slack. I want to know what you did.
Yeah, you
again.
told us
you
that
put
you
it
would
in the
show
Slack.
us.
You teed it up.
Because here are things that have happened before. You've shit yourself.
Yeah. No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I don't think you'd be embarrassed about sharing that.
You've broken a tooth.
Here, I'm going to put a video up that Emily took. This is yesterday.
Oh my god.
I don't.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You've got to be kidding me. Dude, come on. How?
Why do you keep doing this?
So if you've watched the video at home, you probably haven't seen the video.
So you're
especially if
reattaching
you're
a
listening.
gas hose.
It's dropping it. The gas all over your head.
Oh,
Yeah,
my God. So
I got covered in
7-Eleven.
gas.
You gotta stop doing it.
you got to stop driving away.
So yesterday,
How is this happening?
What are you doing?
man.
What's your problem? Driving for
How?
3 decades.
so yesterday I stopped at a gas station with my wife and daughter, and we started filling up Emily's car. I'm proud to say this has never happened in my car. I'm always driving her car. We were filling up Emily's car, and we decided to go in for Slurpees, and then it just took a long time inside. We were getting snacks, and when we came all out, we all just jumped in the car and drove away. And then I heard a ka-thunk, and then Emily and Millie said, "Oh my God, no." And I stopped, and I backed up, and I looked, and I had driven away with the gas hose still in the car. And this time, stuck around to see that I ripped it out of the gas pump.
My God.
Shot gas all over myself. Tried to put it back together, but the pressure from all the gas coming out just shot it back out at me. And then I went inside and I had to stand in line while the lady looked at me stinking of gas. And then she said, she didn't even say anything to me. I said, I made a mistake. And she just pointed to a little dude who had a bucket, like a trash can full of cat litter. And he just like shrugged for me to follow him. And he just walked up and he threw some cat litter down and he stuck it back in and twisted it. And then it reconnected. And he said, "Okay, you're good." And I went, "This happens a lot, huh?" And he said, "No." And then that's it.
That's so good.
I want to give you the benefit of the doubt because this can happen to anyone. It does happen. It sucks. It does happen. And that's okay. Jeff, you're parked at the gas pump. Like, you're like, "Oh, yeah, this took a long time for us to get Slurpees."
I'll go
walked
one further.
Not to the...
I didn't do it at the same gas station, but I was next door. to the same
Dude.
gas station I did it at last time. Like the gas station
Branching out.
share a parking lot in an L.
I've got to ask,
Yeah.
like, what's changed? Is it? It's not a new car.
No, here's where I think it is, because there was a lot of discussion dissecting it for the rest of the day. The prevailing idea is that I have been so stressed out by Rooster Teeth closing and starting up regulation and my daughter graduating high school and my daughter going off to college and the other thing that we had that has been going on behind the scenes that we haven't ever talked about yet, which is that I moved in the process of this. I didn't want to talk about it until my house sold because I don't want to jinx myself. But the day after I found out Rooster Teeth was closing, I put my house on the market. Not in a desperation move. I explained it all in So All Right this week. It was a very tactical and smart move to try to create some flexibility in my life so that we could, if we found a house in Michigan someday, we could find it. But so in the process of Rooster Teeth closing down and us starting all this, I was showing my house off to people and living in like a model home and throwing away half of everything I have and then trying to find a new home. And then the day that we were set to sign the lease on the new home, we lost it to somebody else. And then so there was a period where we didn't have a place to live and we had to find a place to live. And then we did. And then we had to move. And that was excruciating. And I'm still dealing with selling the house. And it's just been so much going on in my head. I think I'm just overtaxed mentally. I think.
Yeah.
Or I'm losing my fucking mind.
I think that
possibility.
completely explains the first instance of this occurring. Like, I fully agree with that one. I think this was just a simple case of Slurpee enthusiasm.
I'm not done with all this stuff, though. We were leaving the other house after getting the air conditioner fixed because in the process of selling my other house while it's under contract, the fucking AC went out and I had to go over and spend 48 hours getting it fixed. So I was like, I'm still dealing with that stuff. I think I'm just, but I was also having a fun conversation with Emily and Millie and they forgot.
Yeah.
To. So
How is it 2024 and there's no like buzzer when your car is penetrated?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, you shouldn't be able to drive away with that in at this point.
I've never done it in my life, and then suddenly I've done it twice in the span of about 3 weeks. And
How many times do you think you'll do it?
Hope never again. Never fucking again.
I think we need to create something, or you need to like establish a rule that you are not allowed to leave until your car is filled. Because I think that's the problem. If you just stayed there through the whole act, then you're freed up. Like, I don't know how.
Oh, I see. I can't walk away from the pump until
you
it's,
have to,
like returned.
like-
Yeah, I should. You know what? That's a good. I'll take that. I'll take that note.
There needs to be like, you made the wrist pocket like a gas pocket where like you have to cuff yourself to the thing. So if you physically leave, it's getting pulled out with you at least.
I'm going to endeavor just not to physically leave, but if I can't adhere to that,
Yeah.
then I'll invent something. But I think you're right. I think that's the solution. I shouldn't trust myself to walk inside of a gas station while it's still pumping outside because there's a breakdown in communication in my brain that happens on the way out, and it's yeah.
I
Clearly.
view it as like a Borderlands game, and I'm just making the numbers go up. And then I realize I have to pay what that number is, and the game becomes a lot less fun. But watching the numbers go up is always good.
I'm imagining it like every time you enter or exit a building, it's like Memento, and you don't know what's just happened. Where it's like, am I chasing this guy or is he chasing me? Sort
Kind
thing.
of, yeah.
It's like, what was I doing?
I'm a bit of a Guy Pearce.
Better drive off.